So welcome back to the aerodynamics class, right? Today we will be discussing momentum equation. In the last class, we have started with the continuity, and now we will have a discussion on momentum equation. So I acknowledge John D. Anderson's fundamentals of aerodynamics, right? We will be following this, right? I recommend you to take your notebook and start, following what I am doing, right? So when we talk about momentum, first we start with Newton's second law of motion, right? Let us say Newton's second law of motion, right? So that's right. So Newton's second law, right? So we can write F is equal to M into A, right? So force exerted on a body of mass M and A is the acceleration, right? So this equation with the more general form, we will write this equation as F is equal to d by dt of M into V. This is the general form we used to represent, and you know very well that mv is the momentum. What is Newton's second law? A rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the force, right? The rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the force, right? Now, this equation, this first equation f equal to m and second equation f is equal to d by dt of mv. So, what is the physical principle behind this? Right? What is the physical principle behind this? The force is equal to time rate of change of momentum. That is what I said. Right? Force is equal to time rate of change of momentum. So now what we will do is we will apply this principle to the model of the finite control volume fixed in space, right? That is what our application is. And you are already familiar with the notations like the pressure P, density rho, velocity V, and so on, right? So let us start. See, two things we need to think here. One is force and another one is momentum. So we will be discussing one by one. Say, first we will take the left-hand side of the equation. What is the left-hand side of the equation? So the left-hand side of the equation is force. Okay. Now, the force exerted on a fluid as it flows through the control volume, right? We have two sources of force. Say the first source, I can say that the first source is the body force. And the second source is the surface force. Okay, what is body force? So the body force is any force which act at a distance, right? Act at a distance. Say what is that act as a distance? we can say gravity, electromagnetic force, and so on. If some force acts from a distance, we can consider that as a body force. What about surface force? What about surface force? We have studied this surface force because we have two contribution. One is pressure force, pressure acting on a surface, and the shear stress. One is acting perpendicular and another is acting normal to the surface. So pressure force and the shear stress acting on the control surface, right? Acting on the control surface. So we call that control surface here as S, right? Now here, for the sake of the derivation, I consider F as a body force, right? F as a body force. So if we say F is a body force acting on an elemental volume, what is elemental volume? D. V is an elemental volume. You know about elemental volume, right? So let us start with the equation. We can write the equation rho F dV, right? Rho F dV is the elemental body force acting on the surface. I mean, look, the elemental body force acting not on the surface, but the surface force is different. So we can write rho F dV. Now let us say the body force over the entire volume. So we know that over entire volume will go for the over the volume V, and we can write rho F dV, right? So body force can be written as rho F dV. Okay. So here let us say this equation as 1 and this equation as 2, and let us say this equation as 3. Now we will come back to the another one, the surface force, right? So surface force, I told you the surface force because of two things. Surface force. So first one is the surface force due to the pressure. Okay, I take it due to the pressure acting. The pressure acting on the element of area ds. So we can write this as minus P ds, and you know very well the negative sign indicates the force is in the direction opposite to the ds. That's all, right? So that means that the control surface is experiencing a pressure force that is directed into the control valve, right? So it is in general because of the pressure from the surroundings, right? Now, okay, now we can write again the complete pressure force. The complete pressure force is the summation of the elemental force over the entire surface. So let us write the pressure force that is equal to minus double integral. So please note this is a surface, so I write double integral d ds, right? So next point is shear force or shear stress, right? Shear stress we consider. So at the moment we don't involve deep into the shear stress, and hence we write this as F viscous. F viscous is the viscous force. So if you consider the equation, this equation is probably the fourth equation. So F is equal to ma, and the force d by dt, rate of change of momentum, is directly proportional to the force. In the force point, that is only the left hand side equation we have taken. In the left hand side equation, we have body force and surface force. In the body force, in the equation 3, we have mentioned rho f dv, and rho is the density and f is the body force and dv is the elemental volume. And then the surface force, we have two force. One is pressure force and another one is shear force. Now, say the left hand side equation F, say let us say left hand side equation F, I can write F is equal to, say, the triple integral over volume V, that is rho F dV minus double integral over S P ds plus F viscous. Right? So this is the left hand side equation. Let us say the left hand side equation for force is this. Now we need to talk about the right hand side equation. What is the right hand side equation? The rate of change of momentum, time rate of change of momentum, right? So let us say the right hand side equation is equal to time rate of change of momentum, right? So the time rate of change of momentum, time rate of change of momentum. Now, this time rate of change of momentum in a fluid element, or let us say in a fixed control volume, is because of two terms. One is net flow of momentum, out of the control volume across the surface, yes. Net flow of momentum out of the control volume across, yes. And time rate of change of momentum due to unsteady fluctuation, right? So unsteady fluctuations inside the volume V. So this is RHS1 and this is RHS2, right? So now let us start with the net flow of momentum, right? Net flow of momentum out of the control volume across S, right? So it means the flow has certain momentum when it enters into the control volume, right? And it has a different momentum when it moves or when it leaves out of the control volume, right? So we need to calculate the net flow of momentum out of the control volume across the surface Earth, right? So what we can do, outflow minus inflow of momentum across the control surface. That's all. So to obtain this net flow of momentum, we can say the mass flow across the elemental area ds, right? So what is the mass flow across, say, mass flow across the elemental area? Let us say the mass flow across the elemental area. Say, let us say the area is ds. Then we can write this is rho v ds, right? So this is momentum per second, right? So let us write rho v ds into v, right? So if we want to calculate the net flow, so RHS1, I can write this equation as double integral over S rho v ds into v, right? So this is the net flow of momentum out of the control volume across S. Now, the time rate of change of momentum, due to the unsteady fluctuation in volume V. So the second point is the RHS2. So let us write the RHS2, right? So the momentum of fluid in the elemental volume. To start with, the momentum of fluid in the elemental volume. Say the momentum of the fluid, in the elemental volume let us say elemental volume dV, right? So we can write this as say dV, and I will write directly. Okay, so we can write this as rho into dV into V, right? And please note, this is the momentum, not time rate of change of momentum, right? You can write this, right? So something like m mass by volume into the volume into V. So this will become mv, then it is a momentum, right? Now let me write the equation. Say the equation number so this is equation number 6. Here we can write the equation number 7 is equal to I write the time rate of change of momentum, right? Dou by dou t of The time rate of change of momentum for the entire volume V. This rho V dV. So this is RHS2. So this becomes the equation 7. Right? Now let us combine the equation. That is the right hand side equation. That is equal to d by dt of mv. That is equal to double integral over s rho v ds into v, rho v ds into v plus dou by dou t of triple integral over volume v into rho v dv. I always mention the volume like this and velocity directly like this. So let us say this is the 8th equation. Right? Now let us write the momentum equation in the integral form. That is the 8th equation plus, 8th equation, 5th and 8th equation. So let us write the 5th equation and the 8th equation. We can write dou by dou t of dou by dou t triple integral over volume V rho V dV plus double integral over S rho V ds into V, that is equal to minus double integral over S P into ds plus triple integral over volume V. This is body force rho F dV plus F viscous. So this is the momentum equation in integral form, right? This is the momentum equation in integral form. So you know the content, right? What is the content here? The time rate of change of momentum due to the unsteady fluctuation, and here the net flow of momentum, that is out of the control volume. Here the pressure force, body force and viscous force. So pressure force is equal to rate of change of momentum. That is the momentum equation we have. Now, of course, this is the momentum equation, but we can change its form, right? Say, let us say, okay, I will write this momentum equation as the 9th equation. Now, we can write from the gradient theorem, right? Gradient theorem. So we can write double integral over S P into ds. We can write this as minus of triple integral over volume V del P dV. Right? So this equation we have converted into the triple integral form, right? So let us say this equation is 10. So now we can write the equation 9. The whole form of the equation is triple integral over V dou by dou t of rho V, dou by dou t of rho V into dV plus double integral over S rho V ds into V, that is equal to the pressure force. Pressure force can be written as triple integral over volume V del P into dV plus the body force, that is triple integral over V rho F dV plus F viscous. So let us say this is a 11th equation because we have reduced this to with the gradient form, and we already know the V is a vector form, that is Ui plus Vj plus Wk. So if you want to write the equation, say we have x momentum equation. If it is x momentum equation, this V can become U, right? Again, this V become U, right? And when you have del P, that is here we can write dou P by dou X, because you know del is dou by dou X plus dou by dou Y plus dou by dou Z, right? So here we can write dou P by dou X, right? And the body force in X direction and viscous force also in X direction we can write, right? So only one thing is we need to write the this equation, right? This equation is only in double integral form now. So let us write this equation. Say we can have the divergence theorem and we can write this equation. If it is in U, right? So this become rho uv. Okay. So I will write this equation. Double integral over the surface S rho v into ds. Here we need to note that the rho v ds is the scalar form, and hence we keep the v as it is. So this can become like S rho u v into ds. That can be written based on the divergence theorem. We can write triple integral over the volume V del dot rho uv into d. So all the equations are in the triple integral. Let us say this is equation 12, and we can write the final form of the equation. Say triple integral over V. You know this is a triple integral, and this becomes triple integral, and all. So we can write the equation here, especially the x momentum equation. So this becomes dou by dou t of rho u. I consider u because it is only x momentum equation. Del dot rho uv. What is rho uv here? Plus the pressure equation dou p by dou x minus, right? So I take this pressure here and this body force here and viscous force here. So it become minus. So this become rho f x minus f x viscous into dv is equal to 0. So Fx viscous is the shear stress in the x direction. Now, conveniently, we can write this equation. Say we want it in a differential form. So we can write this equation here. Say, for example, this equation becomes dou by dou t of rho u plus del dot rho uv plus dou p by dou x minus dou fx minus fx viscous is equal to 0. So can we write the y equation? This is x momentum equation. Similarly, y momentum equation will become, say, dou by dou t of rho v plus del dot rho vv plus dou p by dou y minus rho into fy minus fy viscous equal to 0. Similarly, z momentum equation also we can write, right? So now in this equation, if we consider, say, if it is steady, if the fluid flow is steady, then this becomes 0. Right? Then let us say the body force is 0. Then this becomes 0. Again, I assume that it is an inviscous flow. Inviscous flow has lot of advantages in our aerodynamics that we will discuss. This becomes 0. So finally, you have this two term, right? So let me write this in the final form. Del dot rho uv, that is equal to minus dou p by dou x. This is x momentum equation. X momentum equation for unsteady and inviscous flow. Then del dot rho vv is equal to minus dou p by dou y, del dot rho wv, that is equal to minus dou p by dou z. Right? So please note that this is the equation for the steady flow, inviscous flow, and the flow which does not have no body force. That flow is not affected by the body force. Right? So this equation, which does not consider the viscous force, is called the famous Euler equation. Now, let us say I don't remove the viscous term. Viscous term is still there. If we consider the viscous term, right? If we consider the viscous term, and we discuss about that little later, but if we consider the viscous term, then the equation is called Navier-Stokes equation. A famous equation, Navier-Stokes equation, in the fluid dynamics as well as in the aerodynamics. Right? Okay, so I will start from here once again. Please listen. Right? We start with the Newton's second law. as I said, Newton's second law of motion, the force F is directly proportional to the rate of change of momentum, time rate of change of moment. And we want to take the force, the left-hand side equation. So let us say the left-hand side equation force is due to body force and surface force. Body force is the force which acts from a distance. So we consider gravity and the electromagnetic force and so on. Surface force is the pressure force, shear stress, right, which is acting perpendicular and parallel to the fluid flow. So we consider F is a body force and dV is elemental volume. So we take the body force as triple integral rho F dV for the whole volume, and the pressure force is P into ds. Pressure equal to the pressure force. So P into area, right? So area is surface here, and we consider it for the whole surface. Then the left hand side of the equation can be written as F is equal to body force, pressure force, and viscous force. Now the right hand side of the equation, we know time rate of change of momentum. As I said, the amount of the momentum of the flow which is entering inside the control volume will not be equal to the momentum which is going outside the control volume, and hence net flow of momentum need to be calculated, right? Then again another component is the time rate of change of momentum due to the unsteady fluctuation. That is what we have considered here. So the first one we have considered the net momentum, and the second point is the time rate of change of momentum. So time rate of change of momentum here. So the second equation on the right, the equation on the right hand side can be written in this form. So by applying, so finally we get the momentum equation in integral form. And what I did is here, this term is a double integral, this term is a double integral. I apply the gradient theorem and then the divergence theorem, and I get the equation in the useful form, right? So once I get to the equation in the useful form, I have this equation, and the x momentum equation, y momentum equation, I didn't write z momentum equation anyway, but we can write, and we arrive to a conclusion of steady, inviscous, and no body force condition. This is the set of equation. I said this equation is the Euler equation, and if we consider the viscous term, then it becomes the Navier-Stokes equation. So I stop at this point. Thank you very much.